Welcome back again to Croke Park. Well, as you can see, the Cork players are out on the field. In fact, hardly have the minors gone in and the Cork players had arrived out. That's Kieran O'Sullivan, one of the young men on this present Cork team of 1993, who will be hoping to take them to an All-Ireland final. Mayo are just about to join us out here on the pitch, being led out by their captain, Kevin Byrne. Well, the predominance of the flags here at Croke Park this afternoon are in the favour of the colours of Mayo. When Cork arrived out earlier on, there was a healthy, but I suppose one could almost describe it as a polite round of applause for the Cork team. One suspects that their supporters may be waiting for a date later on in the summer before they come here in their numbers to Croke Park. Martin Carney, if we return again to you. There had been speculation, Marty Morrissey was talking a bit earlier on, whether Anthony McGarry might or might not play. Now, we've seen him run out onto the pitch there, so presumably, whatever stomach complaint he may have had, he's okay to start in this game.
Yes, we had heard earlier that Anthony wasn't playing, and I'm quite pleased that he is actually, because I think the one area that Mayo don't have much cover for is further defence. They have quite a lot of cover for the forward line, but in the defence I think there are only two recognised backs there on the sub-bench. So hopefully the illness or whatever little bug he has isn't too serious and he'll be able to play effectively for Mayo.
Let's talk about this Mayo defence, Martin, because it is a much changed defence from the one which came here 12 months ago and lost to Johnny Gordon in the semi-final here. Guys like Kevin Cahill, who's come in at full back, Kevin Byrne played last year, he's the captain this year, but there have been changes there in that defence.
Yes, to go through the three changes actually, Michael. Kevin Cahill, first of all, is a member of the Mayo Under-21 panel, and I managed the team this year. He's a particularly fast player, very, very committed, possibly the fastest player on the Mayo team. And actually his style should suit, or John O'Driscoll will find him difficult enough to get away from. Pat Holmes is a clubmate of my own in Castlebar. Now, Pat has been on the panel since about 1986, and this is the first year that he has made a permanent position for himself. He's playing quite effectively.
There's Pat there.
There's Pat in the middle of the back line. And the third member, actually, he's an old hand, I suppose, to John Finn, who was dropped last year and who's playing again this year. Now, John in the Connacht final didn't have a particularly good game, but they have kept faith in him and more or less told him, here's your chance again. And I'm sure he'll respond in the right spirit and come up with a good game today. But one thing about the Connacht final, Michael, is they did actually hold the entire Roscommon team scoreless from play in that game. And I think any time that defence can hold an opposition scoreless in the provincial final, it must say something for their character, it must say something for their defiance and something for their spirit and ability.
Well, John Finn, they're part of the Mayo team that played Cork in the All-Ireland final of 1989. Who will be to the All-Ireland final from 1993 from this one? That's the question that remains to be answered as we hand over to our match commentator, Marty Morrissey.
Thank you very much, Michael, and certainly the Cork team out there very quickly out onto the pitch, trying to get rid of any pre-match nerves. Versatility and determination are just two of the qualities this Cork team possesses. Brian Corcoran fits the versatility label by leaving his hurley in Glounthaune and wins the number 2 jersey on merit ahead of Mark Farr. Niall Cahalane and Danny Cullity show what determination can do by overcoming a series of injuries to take their place at cornerback and midfield respectively. Even without Larry Tompkins and Teddy McCarthy, this looks a strong Cork team, with a full forward trio of Colin Corkery, John O'Driscoll and Mick McCarthy displaying sparkling form at the moment. Billy Morgan, 7 years in charge, 5 Munster titles, played in 4 consecutive All-Ireland finals and won 2. It's a very impressive record. Along there with his brother-in-law Frank Hogan. You remember in 1973 that brilliant Cork team that defeated Galway, goalkeeper and corner back respectively, and still very much involved with the Cork team. Mayo a little bit nervous inside in the dressing room, but still seemingly quite confident that they can produce a little bit of a shock today. With Liam McHale surprisingly only receiving the minimum suspension, Jack O'Shea names the 15 men that started the Connacht final. Kevin Byrne leads the team from cornerback in a defence that could be tested today, especially Kevin Cahill and Pat Holmes down the middle. Kevin O'Neill, Kevin Staunton and Ray Dempsey, all from Knockmore, have been most impressive in an attack that could only manage 6 scores in the Connacht final. The Mayo selectors feel, however, that their forwards will pose a bigger threat today with improved performances from Tony Morley, Noel Durkin and PJ Loftus. Jack O'Shea certainly expressed a certain amount of concern before the teams went into the dressing room because of his right half-back Anthony McGarry seemingly suffering from a stomach bug this morning, but Jack felt that his panel is strong enough this year to overcome that particular problem. But thankfully Anthony McGarry does play at right half-back. Sean Maher with his regular midfield partner Liam McHale, a lot will depend on their performance. This is Liam McHale. Many feel very lucky to be on the team today, receiving only 2 weeks suspension for that challenge on Seamus Killoran down in Roscommon there a few weeks ago. Colin Corkery, 26 points, top scorer so far in the championship. The Nemo Rangers star has really come to life this year. He played for a while, of course, back in 1990 in Australia. That was great experience, but missed the banks of the league. One man who didn't move is Brian Corcoran. He left his Hurley at home, as I said, in the scene set, and very much anxious to prove that he should be on the team to qualify, hopefully, for the All-Ireland football final. So the final words of advice from Jack O'Shea: if any man can lead them out of the tunnel and into the light, it has to be Jack O'Shea. He's done it all before. And just a final few words of encouragement: this is how you beat the Cork lads. Just listen to me, Jack. Goalkeeper John Kearns. He's been a great servant to Cork football over the years, and certainly is one of the best and most experienced keepers in the country. And you can see from what I mean that the dressing room seemed very relaxed as John Kearns and Mick McCarthy share a joke as they come over in front of us here to march behind the Arcane Boys band. Cork much more relaxed. So a little bit of a departure from the tradition here in Croke Park. Normally we have a parade around the pitch and then we have our Raw Navian. Today we're going to do things a little bit differently. We're going to play our Raw Navian first and then march around the pitch. So the players exchanging greetings. Nice to see Gabriel Irwin and John Kearns wishing each other the best of luck. They faced each other, of course, in 1989. They face each other today in an All-Ireland football semi-final. Certainly the atmosphere here in Croke Park very much dominated by the people of Mayo, and I think that when Mayo score, Croke Park will just come to life. Everywhere you look around, Mayo people seem to be here hoping that they can make amends for that All-Ireland final defeat of '89. Many people, of course, are expecting that Mayo can follow their Connacht colleagues, the Galway hurlers, last Sunday and produce a shock. You really think so, Colm O'Rourke?
Well, no, I have consistently gone with Cork since they beat Kerry to get to the All-Ireland final. I have no reason to change my mind at the moment. Conditions, though, are ideal for football, and it should suit the best players on the field. I think most of them are on the Cork team, but in saying that, I would hope that Mayo could really put up a fight, and I think it would be a fantastic boost for Connacht football if Mayo were able to win today. And I think most neutral observers of the game would like to see a Mayo victory, but I can't really see it myself.
Do you expect, Colm, that Jack O'Shea will tactically come up with something a little bit different, that they won't line out as they are in the programme?
Well, this has become the sort of trademark of teams during the championship matches that we have seen, where a lot of the teams haven't lined out as selected. I think at this stage that most opposition teams now are adept at covering those possibilities. I don't think that Mayo can come up with anything really that are going to unhinge Cork, except possibly maybe moving Liam McHale into full forward or something like that. If they did that and let the ball in high, I think McHale would cause a lot of problems for Mark O'Connor at full-back for Cork.
Well, all will be revealed over the next hour or so, as Mayo people will cheer anything to try and make sure that their team qualifies for the All-Ireland football final. Hill 16 taken over today by the Cork Mafia as the Artane Boys band come across. Match referee, of course, today is Brian White from Rathgarrogue, Cushenstown, from County Wexford. John O'Driscoll has been in great form at club championship, as has Shea Fahy. In fact, Billy Morgan couldn't wish for anything more than the performance of his players at club level, particularly Nemo Rangers, who were devastating against O'Donovan Rossa of Skibbereen a few weeks ago. Indeed, mentioning O'Donovan Rossa, a special hello from Anthony Davis to his wife Caroline, because they're expecting their first child on Friday. It didn't arrive, and Anthony sends his love to Caroline. He's hoping that he'll get back to Cork before anything happens. Danny Cullity making a welcome return to the side. Former American looks on as Brian White throws in the ball 70 minutes from a place in the All-Ireland football final. And it's Danny, the Yank that has it, getting it down towards Colin Corcoran. Hit with all 6'5" of them, Liam McHale. And the man that's down injured is Dermot Flanagan. And he seems to be in a certain amount of pain there with his leg. And Dermot, one of the most experienced members of the side, seems to be in great pain there with his knee. And he certainly would be an awful loss to Mayo. He's one of the players that Jack O'Shea is depending on.
Yes, he's certainly one of the most experienced players, and played very well in last year's semi-final when a lot of the Mayo fellas didn't. Obviously twisted his knee coming out there. He's going to have his hands full with Colin Corkery anyway, and the way Colin Corkery has been playing this year, there is no cornerback in the country who seems capable of holding him.
So Jack O'Shea obviously expressing concern enough to come onto the pitch to check that Dermot is able to continue. This is the incident again, as Colin Corkery and Dermot just tussled. Dermot just seemed to fall and collapse with the knee, and he's now back limping slightly. We're getting a good round of applause. He goes back into his position. Colin Corkery. Oh, well caught by Liam McHale. This is Anthony McGarry. Mick McCarthy intercepting. It's a line ball from Mayo. Kevin Byrne giving it to Pat Holmes. And Flanagan is in major trouble. He's gone down once more. The right knee has collapsed under him. We continue on. Jack O'Shea, as you can see there, is just getting up as Cork to Niall Cahalane. Lofts it back. Dermot Flanagan is up but hobbling, as you can see. Back to John Finn. To Liam McHale, who's taken up a very defensive role already. This is Sean Marr. Sean is held and quickly taken down towards Kieran O'Sullivan. Brian Corcoran. Intercepted by John Finn. Two Mayo players combining, and their anxiety then dispossessed cleanly by Anthony Davis. To Kieran O'Sullivan. That's Joe Kavanagh. Getting it down towards John O'Driscoll, and the first battle won by Kevin Cahill. Psychologically, that was important for the young Mayo fullback. To his captain, Kevin Byrne. And once Mayo touched the ball, Croke Park is just buzzing. Niall Callahan. Half blocked down. Ray Dempsey. Remember, he's the full forward. There is now no Mayo player inside the Cork 45-metre line. None whatsoever. And it's a free for Cork. And still Dermot Flanagan has his hand up, looking for attention from the referee and from the sideline. And now Brian White is telling Jack O'Shea he can come in. So Dermot Flanagan is sadly departing the scene, and the man that looks like he's coming in is Ronan Goulding. That's Ronan Goulding. He was a member of the Mayo team 2 years ago, so now Anthony McGarry's precipitated move may mean that those switches that Jack O'Shea was implying may now be enforced. In other words, Kevin Staunton back to centre back, Pat Holmes to right half back. We'll just have to wait and see. John Finn, Joe Kavanagh, back to Liam McHale. And the big international basketball star gets a huge round of applause. Puts the ball into space. Mark O'Connor is deemed to have fouled Ray Dempsey. Mark is questioning the decision by the Wexford man, and it's a free for Mayo. So Ray Dempsey, who's got 2 goals and 7 points so far in the championship, going to take the first free. Only Knockmore were able to score in the Connacht final. O'Neill, Staunton and this man Ray Dempsey. John Ferns. Now that's a bad miss really for Mayo. Mark O'Connor. The Army man survives all the challenges and gives it out to another Army man, Shea Fahy. That could be crucial, Colin, that miss.
That was a terrible miss. It was a great chance to get Mayo on the board, especially after Cork had 3 or 4 chances early on. I suppose the only thing about Dermot Flanagan having to go off with Mayo were sort of expecting Anthony McGarry and had plans made to change their backline around.
Here's the man who was doubtful, Anthony McGarry. Puts the ball into space, but Mark O'Connor can't hold on to it. Ray Dempsey. Mark O'Connor uses his strength to make amends for the error. That's a free for the Bantry Blues star. And towards Barry Coppy, and that's going to be a line ball for Mayo. Mark O'Connor wisely pushing it down to Niall Callahan. That's good calling by the full back line. Kevin Cahill again beats John O'Driscoll. Possibly significant. First 2 balls, Kevin Cahill wins. The break falls back to John O'Driscoll. Now Shavnot pass is the motto. By Kevin Cahill, the Cork get the line ball. Knocked away by John Finn. It comes to Colin Corcoran, making space for himself. He's a big man, this Nemo Rangers star. Still Colin Corcoran. He's gone all the way around. And Mayo, excellent defending. It comes to Sean Marr. And it's interesting to note that both midfielders seem to be playing a defensive role. Oh, Anthony Davis, hit by Kevin Staunton. And Anthony survives. And Kevin Staunton, who's now playing at centre half back, just given a little bit of a word of warning by the referee. Well, this had to be a free, Colin.
Yes, Mayo opened up and playing with a lot of fire and commitment, and Kevin Staunton really hits Tony Davis hard shoulder right into the chest, no question about it, and I suppose he's lucky to get away without being booked for that.
Colin Corcoran hits it straight and through and over the bar. The first point for Colin Corcoran after 7.5 minutes of play. I know it's an old cliche, but it's very true. A free for Mayo, missed an easy one. A free for Cork, and they put it over.
Yes, and a much harder free for Cork there. Ray Dempsey's free was much easier than that, and he should have really scored.
Nice little nudge by Shea. He works out fine. Well, almost, but it comes however to Sean Maher, who recovered. Anthony Davis getting a ball, kept in by Ronan Goulding, and that's challenged by Anthony. Kind of a sliding tackle, not loud, and a free for Mayo. PJ Loftus going back into his position. There's Ray Dempsey. Lines up to take this free. Kevin O'Neill. Very difficult angle and very optimistic to try it from there. And he sends it wide. John Kearns spotted Barry Coffey running at the far side. Pushed by Anthony McGarry. So free for Cork. And that will not go down well with the Cork selectors or the Cork fans. An easy line ball, a giveaway to Mayo. Billy rather dissatisfied, I'm sure, with that sideline kick by Barry Coffey. Mark O'Connor, second attempt, fists it out. There's Niall Cahalane, Shea Fahy. Stephen O'Brien to Colin Corkery. Oh, lovely. Getting it down past Danny Cullity. Supposedly playing very well at club level. Mick McCarthy not quite going down in it. Looks to the referee for a sliding challenge. Doesn't get it. Comes to Sean Maher. And again the Mayo crowd rise to their feet. But not for very long as Brian Corcoran sends it back down. There's Kevin Cowell. John Finn. Pat Holmes, Liam McHale. And this is Mayo playing with far more style and panache than what I saw in Dr. Hyde Park a few weeks ago. This is Noel Durkin getting it into Ray Dempsey. Lovely sidestep, as if Mark O'Connor wasn't there. And Ray Dempsey sends it to the right and wide. A second wide for Mayo, but it must be said they are playing with great self-belief and great style.
Yes, Mayo playing with an awful lot more fire and passion than they did in last year's semi-final. But teams tend not to pass much remarks on wides early on in the game, but Mayo need all of these to put pressure on Cork.
Break balls for Danny Cullity. John Davis providing the runner and gives it back to his clubmate Mick McCarthy. And if Mayo can do it at one end, Cork can do it at the other. Scoreline remains the same. Cork leading by just 1 point. Mayo yet to score. Very important that this man plays well today. Liam McHale. Some holding by Shea Fahy. It's a free for Mayo. Kevin Staunton sending one up for Ray Dempsey, and well won by Mark O'Connor. Now that was the most dangerous ball so far, and he came through the test well. Kieran O'Sullivan, all of West Cork hoping that he does well. Some pushing by Kevin Byrne on Mick McCarthy. The Mayo captain spotted by the referee, Brian White. So a relatively easy one for Colin Corkery. making it now 28 points in the championship so far, and 2 this afternoon. Don Davis, guard and Bolton Glass, hoping to at least get a chance of an All-Ireland senior medal to add to his club medal. That's going to be a hot ball. Danny Cullity, Liam McHale. The basketball style, he just uses the big paw to land it down to Sean Marr. Quickly taken by Kevin Staunton. Getting it inside towards Noel Durkin. Niall Cahalan says, I didn't touch him, ref. And another opportunity for Mayo. Kevin O'Neill always wanted to play in Croke Park, and that's his first free from a rather difficult angle. He hits it well, superbly so. Kevin O'Neill opens Mayo's account. It took 14 and a half minutes to do so.
And this free, of course, set up for a left-footed kicker who could bend it in from left to right. A very good kick by Kevin O'Neill, and Mayo would want to get every one of those for the rest of the game to keep the pressure on Cork.
So now the crowd are in full voice. Don Davis, fouled by Ronan Goulding. Free for Cork. Kieran O'Sullivan, who's made the number 5 jersey his own in Cork this year, coming down. Nick McCarthy seems to have been charging, and the Cork captain rather annoyed with the decision. Gabriel Irwin won the 1989 Save of the Year and an All-Star Award with the kick-out. Tony Morley, we haven't seen much of him so far. Sends a good ball. Oh, beautiful! Excellent play by Brian Corcoran, and he did it with one hand. Getting it down towards Joe Kavanagh. Back to Stephen O'Brien. To John O'Driscoll. Onto the right boot, sending it in. Oh, beautiful point by John O'Driscoll. He scored 1 goal and 10 points in a club match just 2 weeks ago, getting his first in this All-Ireland semi-final.
Well, the move was started by Brian Corcoran, who intercepted beautifully with one hand, and the ball is fed down quickly. John O'Driscoll has been beaten to the first few balls by Kevin Cahill, but he's always has been capable of those sort of scores. It's a brilliant point from play.
Excellent fielding by Shea Fahy. Fouled on landing, free for Cork. Aimed at Colin Corkery. Pat Holmes with him, and Pat Holmes gets the benefit of the doubt. Colin Corkery very much disputing the decision. The bank official in Castlebar, native of Moygauna in County Mayo. Puts it right into the middle. Well gathered by Shea Fahy. He really is back to his old form.
Mayo really should have McHale jumping for all of these, because the ball has been, most of those kickouts have been contested by Shea Fahy and Sean Marr so far. Liam McHale should take the other side of the field.
Brilliant fielding by Kevin Cahill. Well, that'll do the purists all over the country a world of good to see that sort of high fielding in around the house. Kevin O'Neill, back to Liam McHale, he got it. Tony Davis with him, giving it back to Kevin O'Neill. He'll be 20 years of age tomorrow. Can he celebrate his birthday with a place in the All-Ireland final? Gets it down to Ray Dempsey. Ronan Goulding is outside. Mark O'Connor held on for dear life. And it's a free end for Knockmore's Ray Dempsey. It's going to be an interesting battle, I think, Colin, between Ray Dempsey and Mark O'Connor.
Yes, that was a bad mistake. Mark O'Connor had prime position there. He's in front of his man. The ball came in low. He should have really cleared that ball. And when Ray Dempsey got it, he shouldn't have fouled him either after that.
So Kevin O'Neill with a second attempt, and that too goes over the bar. 2 points for Mayo, 2 points for Kevin O'Neill, and 1 point between them.
John Kearns is probably going to put most of his kickouts in the direction of Barry Coffey because he's much bigger than Anthony McGarry.
Good point, Colin, and he just leaped into the air and got it cleanly. Down towards Mick McCarthy. There's no questions being asked. And the referee now decides to call a halt, and I think he's going to give a hot ball. Ian McHale and Shea Fahey. And McHale this time wins it. Giving it to Sean Marr, who once upon a time played his club football with St Finbarrs in Cork. So he knows these Cork lads reasonably well. To John Finn. Looking for a man available. Into the space it goes for Mark O'Connor, Ray Dempsey. Ray Dempsey once more has it. Now, he needs a bit of support outside. He's given the space, however, to fling it over himself. And Ray Dempsey puts it over the bar. And Mayo and Cork are level. And once more it's the Knockmore Stars that combine.
John Finn makes good ground under the stand. Part of the problem there was very few Mayo players near the goals, but when he does get it across, Ray Dempsey does very well, picks it up and shakes off a couple of tackles, turns off his left foot onto his right and gets a great point.
And down at the other end, Danny Cullity has scored a lovely point, making it now 4 points to 3.
Gabriel Irwin should be putting all of these kickouts towards Liam McHale. Cork will avoid McHale on their kickouts, so to bring him into the game, Irwin should kick every one of them straight at him.
Barry Coffey once more on those kickouts, gathering possession.
Well, that's a really stupid kick-out because Barry Coffey has a significant size advantage over Anthony McGarry, so Gabriel Irwin should kick the ball away from him.
Colin Corkery using his strength illegally, says the referee, for that challenge on Pat Holmes. I know it's early days, Colin, but certainly the easy passage that some people were saying that Cork were going to get doesn't seem to be materialising.
No, Mayo are really fighting hard and playing with a lot of skill as well, but they've only 1 point from play, and I think that's going to be one of their problems because they're relying on the threes to score.
Here's Kieran O'Sullivan giving it to John O'Driscoll. Mick McCarthy, it works out all right, and the skippering man sends it to the right and wide. That's Cork's second wide of the match so far. "22 minutes gone. Lennon Moyes, Gabriel Irwin. Sending it right down towards Liam McHale, but it comes to his midfield partner Sean Marr. That's a terrible ball from Sean Marr, and he acknowledges that it was a major mistake. And it gives an easy ball for Cork. Niall Cahalan, you can notice his right leg there. He's playing in a special plaster on that right leg today. Hairline fracture, only noticed 2 weeks ago. Oh, an easy giveaway to Cork, and they have an opportunity here to... Oh, brilliant save by Gabriel Irwin. Well, Joe Kavanagh was straight through, and Irwin may be feeling pain, but he's made the people of Mayo quite happy. They feel no pain now. Excellent save.
Well, this move, a ball dropped by Kevin Staunton when it was left to him by Liam McHale. It's fed in, and Joe Kavanagh from 10 yards really should have put it away. Gabriel Irwin came out and spread himself very well, but forward in that situation should really put those ones in the net.
So the first 45 of the match, Colin Corkery to take it. Great height, but just tailing to the right and wide. Certainly standing down at the players' tunnel column during the minor match, there was quite a strong breeze, and you wouldn't really gauge it too well from up here.
No, I suppose Cork have whatever advantage the wind is offering at the moment, and Gabriel Irwin's kick-out wouldn't be as long as John Kerrin's. I don't know whether that's the wind, but certainly seems to be an advantage to Cork at the moment.
Stephen O'Brien giving it to Kieran O'Sullivan. Shea Fahy is forming the overlap outside. This is Shea. Surely fouled by Tony Morley and Sean Maher together. And Shea, I think, just feeling his shoulder there a little bit, for Sean Maher kind of landed on it rather awkwardly.
Well, Shea Fahy tries to go through more or less Tony Morley. Morley could have really let him go farther and over-carried the ball. Sean Maher comes in very heavily on top of him, and Sean Maher wouldn't be the lightest player in the world, so comes right down on Shea Fahy's shoulder, and he looks to be in trouble. Shea Fahy wouldn't be able to lie down unless there was something wrong.
Billy Morgan is coming in and is obviously concerned, deeply concerned, and yes indeed, Pat Hegarty, it looks to be, is the man that's going to be called in. That's Liam Honohan that's running up and down the sideline, and Shea Fahy's departure, a major blow if this becomes a fact in a moment, Colin.
Well, from a Cork point of view, it would be a disaster, because with losing their midfielder Teddy McCarthy without through injury before the game, and now if they had to lose Shea Fahy, but he seems to be going to play on, although he appears very sore.
Joe Kavanagh hitting that nicely, very nicely indeed, over the bar. His first point in the All-Ireland semi-final, giving Cork a 2-point advantage. Shea Fahy is still in pain and is having a word with Brian White. Dr. Con Murphy is now telling the Cork bench that Shea has to come off. Shea acknowledges that he is indeed in trouble. So Liam Honohan is coming on for Cork, and this, like Dermot Flanagan a moment ago, a major blow for Mayo. This is a major blow for Cork, but Liam Honohan is a fine young player. Bob Honohan's son, a man who's done great work for Cork, his son is on, while Shea Fahy gets a warm round of applause.
Yes, that's a very sore injury, the one that Shea Fahy has. The shoulder joint, just at the arm, gets sort of a bit of a wrenching, and obviously not wouldn't be able to put his arm over his shoulder.
Tony Morley giving it to Kevin O'Neill. Now that's a great intelligent ball. Giving it inside. This is PJ Loftus. Referee deems he picked it up off the ground. It's a free out for Cork. And Cork have to cool matters down now until they settle once more. So Liam Honohan is now Denny Cullity's midfield partner. There was talk during the week, would it be Liam or Denny that would get Teddy McCarthy's place? Now they're both on. Liam McHale getting there ahead of Denny Cullity. Barry Coffey coming into challenge. Over towards Ronan Gouldy. Is this the Mayo team I saw playing Roscommon? Going for goal. Oh, Noel Durkin went for it, but he just sent it to the right and wide. That was Noel Durkin with a great opportunity. But Mayo are playing with great confidence.
Yes, it's significant there on that kick out though that Liam McHale kept over towards Barry Coffey and intercepted the attempted kick out, and that's where that good move started from.
Sean Maher waited for a moment and Don Davis didn't. Joe Kavanagh. This one is a good player from Nemo Rangers. To Mick McCarthy. This is what Cork are good at now, combining. Back to Kavanagh. Well blocked down. Excellent. And Kevin Staunton sticking to his task. And puts out Joe Kavanagh. Out over the end line and wide. Good play by Kavanagh. Equally good play by Kevin Staunton.
Yes, very good defending by Staunton there, shepherding Joe Kavanagh out over the line.
And the linesman obviously had lifted his flag and given a line ball to Cork. Joe Kavanagh lofting one in for John O'Driscoll. O'Driscoll did well to gather that one, and he gets the free. Again, John Finn says we did absolutely nothing wrong. Let's see this again. The ball
coming across, first of all, from a questionable line ball decision down here under the Hogan stand. But John O'Driscoll's fielding ability, I think, which he showed in Australia, to very good effect 6 years ago or 7 years ago with the Irish team there. Very, very good spring off the ground, even though he's only a small man. And he gets right up over Kevin Cahill there and makes a very good catch. And John Finn comes in to tackle, and very harsh decision, I think, because he spun around, and I don't think that was a free.
So Colin Parker put the points up on the scoreboard, so it's Cork now leading by 3 points. And Mayo get the sideline. Referee is halting play for a moment and having a word with his linesman, and now he has overruled the linesman and he's given the sideline kick to Cork. And I think that was a correct decision by the referee. Niall Cahalan to take it. Runs on for John O'Driscoll. Lovely turn back off the post, and Kevin Cahill is there to take up the rebound. Pat Holmes back to Liam McHale. Giving it outside to Anthony McGarry. Kevin Staunton, lovely play by Mayo. Now can they finish it off? Tony Morley giving it on towards Noel Durkin. Great ball to Ronan Gouldy, and Kieran O'Sullivan does well. And he plays himself out of trouble, although that pass is a little bit strong. Liam Honahan did well. Challenge from behind by Don Davis. Free to Mayo. Sean Maher to take the free. Up towards Mark O'Connor. This time he gets it cleanly. And a good ball down towards Liam Honahan. Anthony Davis fouled. Free for Cork. Quickly taken to Joe Kavanagh. Steps aside Sean Maher as if he's not there at all. Ball into space towards Mick McCarthy. Back outside is Barry Coffey. And a very good point for Cork. And a good point by Barry Coffey. Very much an underrated player, Barry Coffey. Does well to put Cork 4 points in front.
Well, the contrast in both teams is fairly clearly shown by the two moves here. Mayo had possession, took a lot of passes, looked very good and went forward. Ball comes straight back down the field, and Cork, with a minimum of effort, get a very good point from play by Barry Coffey.
Tony Morley gets a boot to it, but only gives it to Barry Coffey. Ball for John O'Driscoll. Picked up by Mick McCarthy. O'Driscoll has gone inside. This is John O'Driscoll forcing his way through. Oh yes! A smashing goal by John O'Driscoll. Ballingeary comes alive at the edge of the square. Cork 1-7, Mayo 3 points.
Well, Cork have been threatening to score a goal for a while. John O'Driscoll, who started badly, and Kevin Cahill breaks the ball down from McCarthy, and the Cork forwards seem to be able to get through easily. Foul from behind by Kevin Cahill, keeps going and sticks it in the net, and Cork seems to be cruising at this stage.
And Mayo are failing in just one major aspect, putting the ball under or over the crossbar. Their approach work is good. Their defending at the moment is not so good. Danny Cullity floats it beautifully over the bar. Newmarket's American star, Danny, makes it 1-8 for Cork, Mayo 3 points.
Again, a brilliant score for Cork from play. The pass to Danny Cullity from Kieran O'Sullivan under the Hogan stand was absolutely brilliant. Picked him out going through the middle, and Cork, with men all over the place there, could have actually manufactured a goal, but again, an easy point from play.
Mark O'Connor is playing at full back, but now drifting out around midfield as Ray Dempsey moves out. And another free for Cork. Kevin Byrne now being spoken to by the referee. I think it's just a little bit of an explanation more than anything else. Colin Corkery, 3 points to his credit so far, making it now 4 points after the name Colin Corkery, and 1-9 for Cork. And we should be now approaching the half-time whistle.
Well, Mayo are getting no possession in their half-forward line at all, and the Cork half-back line are streaming forward and are able to set up very good chances for the forwards.
Mayo get the free for that foul on Noel Durkin. Terrible ball, really. And Cork can just play around with it. Liam Honohan trying to get it back. The referee allows the advantage, and eventually it comes to Kieran O'Sullivan. Kevin Cahill should make it, and just in case he gets the free as well. Pat Holmes. Danny Cullity knocking it down. Picked up by Don Davis. To Liam Honohan. Back to Danny Cullity. Back to Liam Honohan. Joe Kavanagh's gone inside, and he's clear space in front of him. This fella knows how to take a shot if he gets half a chance at all. He decided to lob it up. Colin Corkery. John O'Driscoll. Getting it back outside to Don Davis, and an easy one for the Skibbereen man. Cork 1-10, Mayo 3 points, and at the moment Cork are sailing. I think Jack O'Shea will be glad to get his team into the dressing room at half-time, because certainly they lost their way in the final 10 minutes or so, and very much Cork the dominant side as they go into the dressing room. Can Jack O'Shea do something? Will he spring TJ Kilgallen there for the second half? It could well be on the cards, as at half-time Cork lead by 1 goal and 10 points to Mayo's 3 points.
Yes, well, in the minor match a little bit earlier on, Cork coasted to victory over Galway. They're threatening to do the same against Mayo here in the senior match. Have Mayo a response? That's the question to be answered in the second half. We'll bring that to you after the commercial break.
It's our heritage, a way of life, passed on from generation to generation, from father to son, working the land, raising animals, providing the protection they need. From Australia with 170 million sheep to America with 100 million cattle. And here in Ireland, farmers trust Pitman Moore to protect their animals. There's confidence in Pitman Moore, a confidence that stems from a great company which invests more money on veterinary research than anyone else in the world. And in Ireland, creates valuable employment in the manufacture of high-quality products to safeguard our animals, allowing us to live our lives to the full. It's good to know that our heritage and our future is safe in the hands of Pitman Moore, the world leader in animal health.
McGreevy's Westport are more than newsagents and food store. There's McGreevy's Super Toys, Cards and Bookshop, with everything from stationery and fancy goods to auctioneering and valuing. McGreevy's Westport.
Hotpoint. Interest-free. Hotpoint washing machines, dishwashers and fridge freezers are interest-free at ESB shops now.
Dawn fresh milk. Let it dawn all day long. What is reality? Can a photo really be this good? New Fujicolor Super G. So real it's unreal.
You know, I know, plus or emulsion, choose plus.
Give yourself a plus when you paint. Plus. That's the one for reliability and a beautiful finish. Plus real value for money.
Plus the color, plus the covering power. Plus, the one you can trust.
Maynard's original wine gums are filled with delicious juicy flavor just waiting to be set loose. All you've got to do is chew. There's juice loose amid this house. Set the juice loose!
Welcome back again to Croke Park. So the half-time entertainment here being provided not only by the Artane Boys Band, but from the school children all over the country involved in the Mini Sevens exhibition. They play in the colours of Mayo and Cork, but they come, as I said, from all of the 32 counties. And two interesting linesmen here today, Kieran and Aidan O'Shea, and they are sons of Jack O'Shea. And one wonders if we'll be seeing these two men back at Croke Park, maybe in a different role in years to come. Today, though, they're on the line. So then, the half-time entertainment down on the pitch being provided by, as I said, the Artane Boys Band. Most of the entertainment in the first half of this senior semi-final being provided by Cork. They lead 1-10 to 3 points at half-time. Martin Carney, of course, is with me here in the presentation area. Martin, it has to be said, it looks all over for Mayo.
It's not looking good at the moment, Michael. I thought for the first 25 minutes of the game, it was a very entertaining game. Mayo seemed to be giving as good as they got. But I think once the goal went in there for Cork and a couple of points followed it, Mayo seemed to be having great difficulty getting the ball into the Cork half of the field. The Cork team, I thought, also there's a significant little thing happened. When Shea Fahy went off, they actually redoubled their efforts. And I thought myself that it would be a pretty grievous blow to them to lose him, because he had been very, very effective for the first 20 minutes of that match. but his replacement Liam Honohan and in fact the entire half-back line have stormed into the game since then. And it's these short little 1-2s that they're playing with one another, drawing the man on and giving off the extra pass that is putting awful pressure on the Mayo defence. I think furthermore the Mayo forward line aren't getting enough tackles in. They aren't winning enough breaking ball. Tony Morley has been quiet so far. The left wing of the attack in Ronan Golding and P.J. Loftus has been non-existent more or less. And apart from Kevin O'Neill and Noel Durkin, and perhaps to a lesser extent Raymond Dempsey, the forward line has been ineffective. As against that, Cork have any number of people starring. Like John O'Driscoll in particular is going very, very well, even though he's having a great personal duel with Kevin Cahill.
Well, his goal was very important, as you said, to Cork in that first half. Let's take a look at this one again. And he certainly rolled the tackles very, very well to take this score.
Yeah, it's a wonderful, well, it's kind of a hopeful long ball from Barry Coffey, and Kevin Cahill's caught up in a little tangle with John O'Driscoll. Mick McCarthy gives a beautiful ball in. John O'Driscoll does very, very well to control it, and he gets through, I think it's 2 tackles there, and you know, he had very, very little space to put that ball into, but he executed the final score very, very well indeed.
John O'Driscoll was a player of immense talent 3, 4, 5 years ago when he came to the Cork side first. Then a succession of injuries kind of sapped a little bit of his confidence perhaps. So he's on his second run in the Cork team at the moment, and he's very aware himself that he's got to take his chances here today with Cork.
That's right, it's a kind of a second coming for John O'Driscoll. I think it was 1986, Michael, that he made his very spectacular debut against the Australians in the Tour Series. But I think he ran into the old hamstring and groin trouble subsequently, and it dulled an awful lot of his appetite for the game. But his display today now, even though he's marking probably the best Mayo back in Kevin Cahill, has been very effective when he's got on the ball.
Well, it's interesting to see how those battles sometimes work out. For the moment though, let's rejoin the Artane boys band down on the pitch. As the Artane boys band leave the pitch, the Mayo team return to the pitch. Kevin Byrne there talking to Liam McHale, and well, much for Mayo to do in this second half now. However, for the second half, let's see how it works out as we rejoin our commentary team of Colin O'Rourke and Marty Morrissey.
Thanks, Michael. Just running out there. I think that Anthony Finnerty is going to be joining the attack. And yes, indeed, he is actually out there wearing number 18 on his back. So Anthony Finnerty going up to the referee, Brian White. So a man who has certainly posed problems for Cork in the past. His goal in the All-Ireland final of '89 still remembered. Indeed, his miss in the All-Ireland final still remembered as well. Cork come out. Liam Honohan, Dr. Con Murphy, John Davis, Brian Corcoran. It must be a fairly happy Cork side at the moment. Although knowing Billy Morgan, he will tell them to keep the heads down, keep the concentration, and just keep at it. For what can Jack O'Shea and Mayo do, Colin O'Rourke?
Well, I'm surprised that he hasn't brought on PJ Kilgallen in the middle of the field, because certainly Cork have totally dominated the game there. Danny Cullity has much the better of Liam McHale, which I suppose for Mayo to win, McHale really had to have a storming game. And Danny Cullity has done very well and has also come forward and scored 2 points from play. So Cork are very dominant in that area.
There is a theory going around that TJ Kilgallen, that you wouldn't get 70 minutes out of him, and that's why he's being held back so much.
Possibly, but I don't think TJ is a great-hearted player and would rouse Mayo a little bit. I see they have switched Ray Dempsey out to centre field, so you know Mayo are making a lot of changes, bringing in Anthony Finnerty, switching Ray Dempsey to centre field. You know, they're putting Tony Morley to full forward. So at this stage, you know, Sean Maher at centre half forward, I can't see the Mayo attack benefiting that much from those changes.
So Ray Dempsey is now at midfield with Liam McHale. Sean Maher centre forward, Tony Marley at full forward. The rest, Anthony Finnerty. Top of the right, Danny Cullity. Ryan White, the referee, and away we go, 35 minutes. And it's a long way back for Mayo. And they certainly, above all else, need a bright start. And they need scores very badly. John Davis, Danny Cullity, giving it over to Liam Honohan. An easy giveaway by Honohan. Sean Maher intercepting to Kevin O'Neill. But Mayo have been behind before. They were behind Sligo, behind Roscommon, and they fought back. Now, Kevin O'Neill, point scoring opportunity, and he takes it with a great degree of style. Kevin O'Neill, man of the match against Roscommon, puts Mayo on the scoreboard for the second half after just 45 seconds of play.
Well, it comes from a bad mistake by Liam Honohan in the middle of the field. Tony Morley lays off very well, and this is what Mayo must do, run at the defence and have their shots. Kevin O'Neill, I suppose, is one of the few forwards that Mayo have who's a consistently good point scorer.
Anthony McGarry judging it perfectly, which Barry Coffey didn't. Ray Dempsey into Tony Morley, back to Ray Dempsey for Liam McHale. And he really will have to throw his weight around a little bit and have an influence. As I say so, he sends it to the right and wide. Certainly it seems to me, Colm, that Mayo's options are very limited, particularly in attack.
Yes, well, switching of Ray Dempsey, who's one of their best forwards, who lessens or narrows the options that they have. What they really need, of course, is a goal now, quickly.
Brian Corcoran. Joe Kavanagh. Out to Liam Honohan. Survives the challenge, gets the free and gives it to Don Dave. Guard and Baltinglass, County Wicklow to Barry Coffey. Half blocked by Anthony McGarry. Pat Holmes going back to gather. Pat is going on a tour of Croke Park. He knew what he was doing, giving it to Kevin Byrne, John Finn. Now Mayo are very good up to here, around midfield. From here on, we have a problem. Ball into space, and there's another problem. Mark O'Connor. Good ball to Danny Cullity. And Pat Holmes once more. Available, Kevin Staunton in the centre. Two Mayo players to his left. One of them, Liam McHale. The other is Noel Durkin. They need a goal. Can Noel go through half of Cork? Gives it inside to Anthony Finnerty. Bursting his way down, and John Cairns, Brian Corcoran is there. Oh, heart-stopping moment on Lee side. Tony Morley getting the better of Brian Corcoran. Well, that must be put down as the best goal-scoring opportunity for Mayo. Ronan Goulding giving it back to big Liam McHale. Tony Morley is inside. It's Kevin O'Neill. And again, it's a slow build-up. Great defending by Cork. Tony Morley, difficult angle, sends it to the right and wide. Well, Mayo's hearts must have skipped a beat when Anthony Finnerty got the ball for the first time. But really had a goal written all over it, or at the very worst, a penalty.
Yes, so that should have been a goal. Noel Durkin does very well to get the ball in there, and Anthony Finnerty really should have put it away. Scored a goal, of course, there in that final 3 years ago, and John Cairns does very well, and Brian Corcoran to get back, but Finnerty really should have put it away.
Meanwhile, the linesman's attention, or at least the linesman has called the referee's attention for an off-the-ball incident, and full credit to the linesman. He's now calling, I think, Barry Coffey, and having a word with the Cork number 12. And he's being booked by the referee. and telling the Cork men to cool matters down. So John Kearns with the kick out.
Again, it's very noticeable John Kearns kicking all those balls out on this side to Barry Coffey, and the Mayo midfield should move across to try and intercept those.
Anthony Davis. Well won by Colin Corkery. Liam Honahan. Oh, poor pass from Corkery. Back to McHale. To Kevin O'Neill. John Finn is available to his left. Steps aside Colin Corkery and sends a ball into space to Ronan Goulden. Well won back by Niall Cahalai. To Mark O'Connor. To Kieran O'Sullivan rather. Danny Cullity. A challenge there by Ray Dempsey after the ball had been given away. It's a free for Kieran O'Sullivan. Joe Kavanagh. Sending the ball low towards John O'Driscoll. And he does well to gather the loose ball. And that's going to be a free end for the Cork number 14. Colin Corkery going for his 5th point. Comes back off the post. Pat Holmes is there. Kevin Byrne. That was an unusual miss. And the Nemo Rangers man. Kevin Byrne once more. Mayo possibly will be encouraged by that miss. They need every bit of encouragement with that scoreline of 110 to 4 points. That's a good ball, John, towards Kevin O'Neill. Looking for a man available. It comes now in the form of Noel Durkin, who's working hard at corner forwards despite the paltry supply. Getting it back to Tony Morley. To Noel Durkin, who's going to run at this Cork defence once more. Brian Corcoran trying to get a boot to it. It was Joe Kavanagh that picks it up. Danny Cullity getting it down towards Mick McCarthy. Opening up this Mayo defence, John O'Driscoll. Back outside is Barry Coffey, running inside is Joe Kavanagh. Onto the left leg. It won't curl enough. Incredibly, that's only Cork's 4th wide in this All-Ireland semi-final. Referee Brian White telling Mayo that they're going to have to take that kick out again and that everybody has to be outside the 20-metre line. John O'Driscoll is arguing with the referee as Gabriel Irwin gets ready to take the kick out. Well gathered by Liam Honahan. The point that Cullen was making earlier that Liam McHale should be going up for those sorts of kick-outs. Barry Coffey runs on for Gabriel Irwin. Changes direction. That's good play by the goalkeeper. It's Kevin Staunton. Hopeful ball, more than a good ball. Kieran O'Sullivan. Cork half-back line just love to attack, and they've given acres of Croke Park to run. And Kieran O'Sullivan from a very difficult angle. One umpire says put up the flag, the other says it's gone wide, and it is gone wide. Interestingly, Gabriel Irwin has come out to the 20-metre line to take the kick out, and now he's put back by the referee and say it's gone to the right and wide. So Kieran O'Sullivan's effort going officially to the wrong side of the post. Ian McHale giving it to Anthony McGarry. Tony Morley making himself available this side, but Mark O'Connor spotted it. Good play by the Bantry man, but not a very good ball. Kevin Byrne taking it quickly to Anthony McGarry. Back to the Mayo captain. And because the ball around him falls down, he's given a bit of space. Anthony Finnerty giving it back to Sean Marr. Mayo need to produce something here. Difficult ball for John Kearns. The other sort of shots that goalkeepers absolutely hate. But fortunately for Cork, goes to the left and wide. And Mayo introduce another substitute. This is Pádraig Brogan. Mayo substitute number 19. And Sean Marr is the man that's gone off.
Pádraig Brogan would be more of a centre forward than Sean Marr anyway.
Ray Dempsey. Giving it to Noel Durkin. Gone inside is Anthony McGarry. Coming across is Barry Coffey. Hits him with a fair shoulder. Bursting his way through and giving a free out. Charging. Correct decision by the referee.
Yes, a good shoulder by Barry Coffey and a good decision by the referee.
Interestingly, Pádraig Brogan now in at centre half forward. And I think Colm O'Rourke's point is valid. Probably a far better centre forward, a greater threat to Cork than Sean Marr in that position.
Yes, so Sean Marr kicking that ball hopelessly wide demonstrated he's a midfielder more or less, and that's about it.
Anthony McGarry, solid right half back. To Ray Dempsey. Kept in by Kevin Staunton. Tony Morley. Mayo playing it very, very tight. But they managed to create the space. Kevin Staunton going for a goal, and John Kearns is there. You don't lob goalkeepers of John Kearns' calibre that easily. Kieran O'Sullivan. A fine right half back. Anthony Davis. Good intelligent ball opening up this Mayo full back line. Kevin Cahill unquestionably fouling his opponent. Free in for Cork.
Again, the difference in the forward line shown there. They all get themselves into all sorts of trouble with short passing and can't kick the easiest of scores, whereas Cork, when they break forward, seem to have plenty of room and spread the ball wide, and they always seem to have men available to come running for it.
Colin Corkery to take the free. And he sends that one wide. So Cork have yet to increase their tally in the second half. From Mayo again. Kevin Staunton to John Finn. Tony Morley. Anthony Finnerty picked up, however, by Ronan Goulding. Liam McHale in front of the post. He puts it over the bar. Mayo get a little bit closer. And the 2 points that we've seen in this second half have both been scored by Mayo. 110 to 5 points.
Yes, Liam McHale moving forward here and kicking a very good score from play. Mayo, again, if they could get a goal now, would probably be able to make a real fight of it.
Kevin O'Neill, back to Liam McHale. These sorts of penetrating runs are vital. Ronan Goulding was outside him, but McHale burst his way through, and Niall Cahalane is there with the loose ball. And the referee, a little bit harshly now, I must say, on Niall Cahalane, seemed to have overcarried it. Niall says, what do you expect me to do? And I think that Niall has a certain case there. But it's a free for Mayo.
Yes, I think this is a bad decision by the referee. Niall Cahalane was being held up, so could have been a free out there. But the main change in the middle of the field has been Liam McHale is now on Liam Honohan, and he seems to be able to break forward. I can't understand why Danny Cullity doesn't pick up McHale, because he was doing very well on him in the first half.
And the crowd in Croke Park get behind their team. And the vast majority of the crowd here in Croke Park very much in favour of the Connacht champions. Here come Mayo once more. And I note just again that Mayo fought back from behind against Sligo and Roscommon. So they have a bit of character. Anthony Finnerty, half blocked down, comes across to Ronan Goulding. Difficult angle and he puts it over the bar. Ronan Goulding his first point in an All-Ireland semi-final. And Mayo are showing great character, great determination. And for the first time, Jack O'Shea is beginning to run up and down the sideline. He feels there could be a victory here.
Yes, and Mayo are beginning to go at the Cork defence, and a lot of the Cork players are unhappy with that. A half-block shot from Anthony Finnerty at the Ronan Goulding, and he sticks it over. Again, the goal now would really make a game of it.
And still Cork have failed to score in the second half. Danny Cullity. 15 minutes gone in the second half. Sending it into space, but nobody there except Anthony McGarry. To Pádraig Brogan. Kevin Staunton is available to his left, but Brogan gives it rather stupidly away to Kieran O'Sullivan. Joe Kavanagh. Colin Corkery. Danny Cullity available. Corkery. Very optimistically dropping. Oh, wonderful fielding by John O'Driscoll. He needs support. The referee gives him the free on the 13-metre line. And certainly Kevin Cahill has his hands full with this man, John O'Driscoll. Jack O'Shea telling his forwards to keep moving. The referee now in the centre of the pitch is having a word and booking Pádraig Brogan.
Yes, that was for a late tackle on Stephen O'Brien that he made a couple of minutes earlier, so it's a good decision by the referee. He let the play go on and come back and booked him. And Pádraig Brogan gave away that ball very foolishly in the middle of the field by a bad foot pass and set up this point really for Cork.
Joe Kavanagh with the free. And incredibly, he sends it wide. Joe Kavanagh with the miss of the All-Ireland semi-final. I see former Cork hurling star John Buckley in the crowd. There he is in the green jersey, and he is disgusted. And Mayo must surely be encouraged by this, because Cork have certainly lost their smooth running style of the first half. Maybe not completely. Barry Coffey. Oh, great ball into John O'Driscoll. Slipped inside Kevin Cahill. Back to Corkery, onto the left foot, and this time it's over the bar. They were let off a moment ago, but Colin Corkery makes amends.
Yes, a good sign of the Cork team there. After one bad miss, and should have given a bit of heart to Mayo, they come right back. John O'Driscoll again causing the problem, winning the ball inside and giving it back to Colin Cork, who scores. Has been quiet today, but still able to score like that.
Danny Cullity. Paul and Mick McCarthy by Kevin Byrne. And Mayo now just making some silly mistakes. And if anybody can punish silly mistakes, well then it's definitely the Cork lads. Yet another free for Colin Corkery. The shooting boots are back on target as Cork stretch their lead.
Kevin Byrne has given away quite a few frees, and Mick McCarthy, and most of them have been punished by points from Colin Corkery.
Here's John O'Driscoll again. Another free for Cork. 25 frees now that Mayo have conceded in this match. John O'Driscoll quickly giving it inside to unmarked Joe Kavanagh, unselfishly giving it to Don Davis, and that must be a penalty. But Mayo were gazing at the stars. They left 2 Cork players virtually unmarked, and Gabriel Irwin now has to face a penalty.
Well, terrible play by the Mayo backs, because Joe Kavanagh was free inside for at least 20 seconds, and John O'Driscoll made several attempts to get the ball to him before it finally arrived in. He gives it to Don Davis and a penalty, but the Mayo backs should have been at least getting back on Joe Kavanagh a lot quicker.
Billy Morgan having a quiet word with Joe Kavanagh. I think that this could seal it for Cork. And I know that every Friday before a big match, Billy Morgan and Colin Corkery go down to Páirc Uí Chaoimh. They practice frees, they practice penalties. And if anybody can tell Colin Corkery how to take a penalty, it must be Billy Morgan, one of the best goalkeepers, of course, of all time. So here's Colin Corkery facing Gabriel Irwin. Oh, brilliantly put away. And a big lad from Ballyfahan can just afford a little smile. Cork have booked their ticket for Croke Park on the 3rd Sunday in September.
Well, Colin Corkery has scored a couple of penalties, and there's none better than this one. Really sticks it away, hits it hard. Gabriel Irwin probably nearly got there. Had to get a hand to it, he might have kept it out because it didn't go entirely in the corner, but game over, I think.
Kevin O'Neill. And that tailing to the left and wide. 7 wides for Mayo now in this All-Ireland semi-final. An equal number with Cork. Liam McHale to Corey Brogan. Corey Brogan's passing. Last 2 balls he's got, well, they haven't been the best in the world, to say the least. Niall Callahan, Brian Corcoran, Stephen O'Brien, Anthony Davis, knocked away from Mick McCarthy, Anthony McGarry, Kevin Byrne. Pumping it into space for Tony Morley and Brian Corcoran. Ronan Goulding. Liam McHale has gone inside. This is McHale. And he puts that over the bar. That's his 2nd point of the match. But it's a goal at the very minimum they need, not a point.
At this stage, Mayo should use every ball up front to try and work a goal, because they're certainly not going to win the game on points, and they need a few goals quickly, so they should try and work them.
Corey Brogan getting there ahead of Stephen O'Brien. Anthony Finnerty for the challenge on Corey Brogan. A free for Mayo. Lobbing it in towards Tony Morley. Here come Mayo. Into Tony Morley, and a brilliant save by John Kearns. And that's out for a 45. But certainly, it must be said that Mayo have had 2 opportunities in the second half for goals, and on both occasions they failed to put them away.
Yes, well, Anthony Finnerty caused them trouble, and Tony Morley there should have again stuck it in the net, but John Kearns, an excellent keeper, and a brilliant save again.
Ray Dempsey to take this 45. Tony Morley knocking it down only for Niall Callahan. Great recovery by Morley. And send it to the right and wide. Ten clear points between the teams. And 24 minutes gone in the second half.
This stage, Mayo would have nothing to lose. Put Liam McHale in full forward and kick the ball in. He'd probably win it anyway, and he might set up something.
Mayo ball. Anthony McGarry. And they up with it. Mark O'Connor doing well. You can't catch it, at least kick it. Stephen O'Brien. Anthony Davis. Back to Stephen O'Brien. Kevin Staunton waiting for the breakdown from Pat Holmes. Ray Dempsey. Anthony Finnerty. Made a huge difference since he came in. John Finn. And John Finn curls it to the right and wide once more. 9 wides now for Mayo. Trying to find Joe Kavanagh. Ronan Goulding getting the loose ball. Corey Brogan outside. And that too goes to the wrong side of the post. Picked up once more by Anthony McGarry. It must be said that Mayo have these spasms and they look very good until it comes in front of the post. This is Noel Durkin. Kevin O'Neill comes in to lend a hand. Lovely skill. Oh, that's a very good point. Beautiful point by Kevin O'Neill. 5 points for the Knockmore lad, and that's one of the best.
Beautiful play by Kevin O'Neill, who's been Mayo's best forward by far today. Looks in trouble, great solo off his left foot and tipped it around the corner and over the bar, but he has got very little support.
Clean catch for Danny Cullity. Ball for Don Davis to try and run onto. That surely is a free for Mayo and for John Finn. Again, nice play by Kevin O'Neill, who looks to have tremendous potential. Drops that in to Ronan Goulding. An easy ball for John Kearns. Noel Durkin disgusted with Ronan Goulding. Brian Corker into Tony Davis. Danny Cullity. Joe Kavanagh to run onto. Gabriel Irwin is coming out to gather it. He gives it to Kevin Byrne. John Finn. In the centre, Pat Holmes. And Mayo are as good as Cork at this. I know I've mentioned it before. It's from here on then that the problem arises. Noel Durkin trying to send a through ball. Stephen O'Brien puts a halt to that gallop. Mark O'Connor. And Niall Callahan. The cheer is because Brian White fell. He hit the deck, but Niall Callahan goes forward. Joe Kavanagh. Colin Corkery. Danny Cullity is on inside. Takes 2 and he steps 3 out for Mayo. And just for a second, Cork had at least 2 players available. Noel Durkin. Well won back by Don Davis. And that's very casual by Don Davis, too casual. I'm sure that Billy Morgan will have a word to say about that.
What's terrible to see there was Noel Durkin giving up as soon as he lost possession for Mayo, something they've been criticised for in the past, and you would think that he should have learned from it, but as soon as he lost possession there stood and didn't try to put in a tackle.
Corey Brogan. Somehow manages to get it far as Noel Durkin. Kevin O'Neill getting back to Ronan Goulding, who just put a boot at it and send it to the right and wide. 11 wide to Mayo now. And no bit of creativity at all, Colin.
No, Mayo really don't look as slick as Cork up front at all. When Cork in possession are able to move the ball much faster, create openings. Apart from Kevin O'Neill, there is very little scoring threat in the Mayo forwards.
The referee is just checking that Mark O'Connor is able to continue. Seems to have an elbow problem. But he's okay. 5 minutes to go. It's a question now of who plays Cork in the All-Ireland football final. Certainly Mayo need not one but about 2 miracles to get this one out of trouble. Stephen O'Brien can afford to slip, recover, and gives it to Kieran O'Sullivan. Don Davis. Mick McCarthy. Alan Corkery. To Liam Honohan. Back to John O'Driscoll. He flings that straight over the bar. John O'Driscoll has 1 goal and 2 points as a personal tally out of this match. 2-13 for Cork. And the Cork people, Dinny Long is the man in the middle. You remember him in 1973 with the blue cardigan hanging over the shoulder there. That's Dinny Long. 1973, he played with Billy Morgan. It's good to see him here in Croke Park.
Well, Colin Corkery now has gone into a full forward position and is able to win the ball there. John O'Driscoll has drifted outfield and he's been the best Cork forward today, the best forward on the field, and kicks a great point from play.
There's a Mayo man that can still afford a smile, Pádraig Flynn, who's here with his son there to his right, his only son, Turlock. Barry Coffey, Joe Kavanagh, John O'Driscoll. Another one of these Ballingeary specials. There it is. 1 goal and 3 points for John O'Driscoll, 2-14 for Cork.
O'Driscoll playing well now, but he also played very well when they needed him in the first half.
Kevin Byrne to Anthony McGarry. Noel Durkin to Pádraig Brogan. Nobody there except Liam Honohan. Mark O'Connor giving it to Danny Cullity. Anthony Davis. Up towards Barry Coffey. And Barry has latched onto it. He has plenty of support and he's got a goal. Bishopstown, Barry Coffey puts no doubt whatsoever that Cork are in the All-Ireland final of 1993.
Well, terrible marking here by the Mayo backs. There was 3-1 situation here. Barry Coffey could have left the ball off there to Mick McCarthy, but he hasn't scored that much all year and probably wasn't going to give away a goal chance to anybody else.
There could be more. Kieran O'Sullivan to John Davis. And the white flag once more to be raised. Skipperine has now got another man who can score points. John Davis. Ray Dempsey, he's worked hard, tirelessly in fact. Anthony Davis going down on it. Mark O'Connor is gone out to help him out, but over here is Stephen O'Brien. Brian Corcoran. Kieran O'Sullivan. Switching on, that's a good ball, lovely ball from O'Sullivan. Gone into the middle is Joe Kavanagh. Get out the barricades quick, Mayo. There's another goal here. Nick McCarthy. Oh, somehow Mayo managed. No, they didn't. The referee and the umpire. I thought they'd saved it, but Joe Kavanagh puts another one in the back of the Mayo net.
Well, this game has become a bit of an embarrassment for Mayo. Cork have made very good use all day of cross-field passes, and again, three Cork forwards to 2 backs, and easy chance for Mick McCarthy.
I think the Cork lads at this stage, Cullum, are playing for places. Here's Joe Kavanagh, another goal. Oh, what a smashing shot! These Cork lads, given space, are absolutely magical. There's a club team down in Cork called Nemo Rangers, and they play this sort of football.
Yes, well, this is an annihilation job now, and a lot of the Mayo backs have given up. Left it easy, but Joe Kavanagh, in chances like that, he is a very good goal scorer.
Anthony Finnerty, who's had a lot more edge to a Mayo attack. I wonder why he wasn't in from the beginning. Noel Durkin. Ronan Gouldick. It's really like a game of backs and forwards now. Corey Brogan driving in a shot, and John Kearns keeps his clean sheet by putting that one over the bar. The referee has blown the final whistle, and Cork are definitely through to the All-Ireland football final. Initially there were a few problems. It took them a while to score in the second half, but when they did, they really turned it on. Full-time score, Cork 5 goals, 15 points, Mayo 10 points.
Well, we hardly imagined when we were watching the minor match a little bit earlier on, and Cork on that occasion decimated Galway, that the gap in the senior game would in actual fact be greater. Martin Carney, very, very briefly, as Billy Morgan is being interviewed down there. A very disappointing day, obviously, for Mayo, but my goodness, what a performance by Cork.
A wonderful performance by Cork. Throughout the second half, in particular in the last 15 minutes, just ran lanes through the Mayo defence. Their backup play, their cohesiveness, everything about them, the cohesion, their forward play, their support play, everything about them. Their finishing in particular, Michael, I put down as the main difference between the two teams. Both teams nearly shared the same amount of possession, but that last third of the field, Cork were able to execute their scores with the greatest of ease, and it's a tribute to the way they actually...
Two good movements together, and
it's a tribute to the way they actually...
Two good movements together, and a few of them ended up in the back of the net.
I'm very happy to be back in the limelight, I suppose. Very glad that things are going well for me, and as I said, I hope we can just keep it going. Our ambition at the start of the year was to win every game as it came along. We have one left, and I hope that we can go all the way this year.
Your goal before half-time certainly seemed to settle Cork.
Possibly we were under pressure a lot at that stage. The ball that was coming in wasn't ideal, but we still had to fight. We knew that Mayo wouldn't give up the goals that easy, and that everything would be tough and very hard earned. And the ball just broke in I was in the right place at the right time for it, and just lucky enough to win 10, you know.
I actually missed a penalty 2 weeks ago in the club championship, and I got a bit of slagging down there. But they thought I was a bit lazy with my penalty, so I just hit it a bit harder. It wasn't any way different than my normal style. I was just hitting a bit harder, you know.
Confident now that you can go all the way?
As John will say just there, we'll take one game as it comes. That's what we set out at the start of the year to do, and no matter who gets into the final now, we'll just take it as it comes, and hopefully we'll come out with an all-round medal.
I don't mind. We set out at the start of the year that we take each game as it came, regardless of or who the opposition would be. So we don't mind. We will possibly watch next Sunday's game with great interest, and just have to get on with the job, whoever it will be.
You have to have the players to work with, and I think this bunch of players in Cork at the moment are as good as any in the country, and as good as have come before them, and they're a great bunch of lads, and I like working with them, and I'm pleased most of all for them.
Who would you prefer, Dublin or Derry?
Well, at this stage, I'm just pleased that we're in the final, and I won't think about the opposition until after next week.
I played in a great Kerry team in the 70s who gave teams dribblings like that, you know, and I felt bad about it in the end of the day that we got such a hammering, because I feel that, you know, the lads have put in a lot of work. We've worked very hard for the last 9 months, and the wheels came off the wagon very early on us today. You know, I think from Dermot Flanagan's injury on, we were going to struggle because we had to disrupt our team so much.
The first half was very tight, I thought. There was a lot of pulling and dragging, especially in the forward line, and towards the
halfway through the second half, things started to loosen out, and there was a bit of space in the full forward line. And the last 10 minutes, you know what happened. You know, we got 4 group goals. You know.
Well, you know, for the first 20-25 minutes we were doing really well. We were putting a lot of pressure on them with our defence, and they were finding it difficult to get the scores. I think just before half-time the goal was the killer and the thing. But it's difficult on the sideline because we were being beaten, I felt, in a lot of positions, and it's very hard to make switches then, it's very hard to react. Then again, TJ Kilgallen wasn't 100% fit to bring him in, which was a huge blow to us. So we were curtailed a lot with our experience to get him into the field. But, you know, having said that, we're just disappointed with the result.
We'll take one game as it comes. That's what we set out at the start of the year to do. And no matter who gets into the final now, we'll just take it as it comes, and hopefully we'll come out with an all-round medal.
Well, I'll have to consider it now. You know, I've put up a lot of mileage this year, and I've put in a lot of effort into it. Like the players, we've done a lot of work together. So I'll just think back about it in the next few weeks, and you know, maybe I might do it again for another year. I'll see.
Well, the worst All-Ireland semi-final at Croke Park for many a long day, but that will matter little to the people of Cork. Last year it was their hurlers who represented the county in the All-Ireland finals. This year the attention will be on the footballers on the 3rd Sunday of next month. Well, for Mayo, a day of bitter disappointment, obviously. For provincial champions to be beaten by 20 points is a statistic in the record books that they will not be proud of. Speaking of statistics, these are they from today's match. Well, in truth, however, they tell you little about why Cork dominated this game so completely. Cork hit 7 wides, well, could afford them, I suppose. Mayo hit 11 and most certainly couldn't. There were 46 frees in the course of the match, Mayo conceding 25 to Cork's 21. In studio with us, of course, we have tonight again Colm O'Rourke. Colm, you're welcome. You got a lot of stick in the west of Ireland and from Mayo people for dismissing the challenge from Connacht to Cork in an All-Ireland semi-final situation. Things like arrogant claptrap were mentioned by one senior Mayo official. Do you feel vindicated in the things you said by today's result?
Well, I'm not here really to score 2 points at the expense of Connacht football. Obviously, when anybody is closely involved with their own team or with a province, you're not going to let the side down. But I haven't got all the answers, and I don't set myself up to do that. But anyone who is looking coldly at Connacht football for the last number of years will see that the standard there has been very poor. And it looks as if it's going down further. And I'm not happy about that. I'm not happy to see Mayo being beaten like that today. But it's something that people who could look from the outside could see quite clearly is happening.
Coming out of the match today, people were saying it's a dreadful game, it was this, that and the other, and perhaps that's unfair to Cork, because Cork won this match today. They won it very impressively, and they're entitled to be credited for being very impressive All-Ireland finalists.
Absolutely, and Cork did what they had to do. They were very clinical in their finishing, and they polished Mayo off with a minimum of fuss Sunday. They did the same to Munster champions Clare in Ennis, and they beat Kerry in Killarney. Now they've beaten Mayo in Croke Park. So they've shown that they're a very, very good team. And they're going to be very, very difficult to beat.
Yes, and we're also in top form against Tipperary in the Munster final as well. But oddly enough, today, Mayo started that game quite well. I mean, they weren't outclassed from the beginning. They had their chances early on in the game.
Yes, the first 20 minutes Mayo played with a lot of fire, and it looked as if it was going to be a very close contest. After about 20 minutes, it was 3 points each. But then, for the last 10 minutes of the first half, really, Cork did all the damage. I think we can see some of the scores that put Cork on their way into the final. And really, by half-time, I suppose, you know, this match was over.
Mm-hmm. That goal by John O'Driscoll, obviously, was, as Jack O'Shea said, was a killer punch as well.
Yes, in about a 4-minute spell, just before half-time, Cork ran up a series of very good scores. Points like this one here from Barry Coffey from play, and good work by Joe Kavanagh and a very good run there. And immediately on the kick-out, Barry Coffey is back out in his position and brings forward and wins the break at midfield. Gives in a very good ball. Some people have said that's a hit-and-miss affair, but John O'Driscoll was winning a lot of ball in the air. Again, runs on to a pass from Michael McCarthy, and off his left foot, under pressure, sticks it in the net. At that stage, Mayo were in serious trouble. And again, from the kick-out, Liam Honahan makes a fantastic catch in the middle of the field. 3 or 4 quick passes, the ball goes to Kieran Sullivan, who gives a great ball across, great vision, sees Danny Quality, who messes it up the first time, but is able to recover and stick it over the bar. So in the space of 2 minutes, Cork had gone from a point or 2 up to now 6 or 7 points up. And again, straight away, poor marking here. Kevin Staunton really should have been covering Joe Kavanagh. Ball up in the air. Again, we see the value of a player like John O'Driscoll up high, and a fantastic pass out to Don Davis, giving him room in front of the goals, and a very easy point. And Mayo were not able to get points like that at any stage during the game.
Cork went in then at half-time. They were 10 points up. Mayo tried to make a fight of it for a time in the second half, but I suppose from their point of view, the real dismay about this is that everything went apart on them in the second half, and they really, I suppose, let themselves down.
Yes, in the first 10 minutes of the second half, again, Mayo fought hard and got 4 points in a row. And again, if they had to get a goal at that stage, they could have made a real battle of it. They had a couple of chances. Anthony Finnerty and Tony Morley had goal chances, and they would have needed to go in the net to make
team. And he wants to know, would you be interested?
Would have needed to go in the net to make
team. And he wants to know, would you be interested in trading them?
Well, I think maybe they should hold on to Jack O'Shea and Mayo anyway and hope for the best. But Connacht football is in a very unhealthy state, and people in Connacht have to stand back and see that themselves and accept it, and then do something about it. I know they have been hit with emigration and unemployment and so on, but centres of population like Galway should be able to produce good teams. There's no reason why they can't if they're organised themselves.
Mm-hmm. All right now we're going to take a commercial break. More on the Sunday game.
Now, which four will it be from here? Well, I think you can expect to see the former speed skater turned sprinter Irina Privalova in lane 4. Certainly figuring in the shake-up. She's the fastest of the field in this heat on her personal record, but this year she has yet to get under 11 seconds. Only 3 of the athletes have done that. Gwen Torrance, who won the first heat, Merlin Otti, who we'll be seeing later, as we will be seeing Gail Devers. Full lineup has Michelle Finn, 28-year-old from Orlando, Florida. Maggie Nestore of France,